Everybody, welcome back to the Final Fantasy VI walkthrough. I'm joined by Stigma.
Hey, what up? This is an awesome part I gotta interject right away.
Okay.
Like, the bus driver's like, hey, come in the back of the bus.
Okay.
Hey, little boy, you sit back there, I'll be right along. Just wait.
I'm coming right after you.
I'm coming for you, boy.
I'm coming for you, boy. Okay, so couple things, a lot of things about this. This first fight, now I'm just gonna say it. Do as I say and not as I do. We're just gonna start it off like that.
Works for me, Dad.
The first fight and the third fight, there's a 75% chance of getting this single purple mag rotor. There's a 25% chance of getting the single purple and the single red together. So, if you want, or the way I'm going to recommend doing it is reset your game if you only get a single purple first.
So you don't want to see this?
You don't want to see this one first.
No
you
grass.
want to get the single purple and the single red first and get that 25% chance out of the way. That way, the rest of your fights, you want the 75% chance formation to happen. So, again, do it a little different than this. Reset your game if you get the single purple, single red. And now that is if you want a complete bestiary. If you're looking at doing like complete bestiary, complete formations, then throw that right out the window because that's not what we're interested in doing. But how the rest of the fights are going to break down is, again, first fight, 75% chance that you'll get this one, 25% chance purple, and 1 red. Second fight, fourth fight, and fifth fight, it's a 75% chance of getting the 2 purples together and a 25% chance of getting 4 reds. For our playthrough, we do not ever want to get the 4 reds. So if you ever get the 4 reds, you need to reset your game. If you do it like this, I keep Locke alive for the first 3 fights. For the 4th and 5th fight, you'll have the double purples. You need Cyan and Gao alive. So again, the reason why I do this is because I don't want to try to revive 2 people during the final fight. You really only want to have to revive 1 person because there's a ton of damage going around at that on the final.
You don't want to waste a turn on that.
And man, it would be horrible if all 3, because the boss is basically 3 parts, and they all act independently, and they hit hard. I guarantee you, Locke could not take all 3 hits. There's no way. Even though, so he's going to gain 2 levels here, and he will have a little bit more health once we finally get to the boss. But this is just not how I would recommend doing it. That's super risky, and it would be incredibly annoying to get the perfect fights and then get to the boss and die. That'd be just the worst.
That weapon is nice in here, though.
Yeah, the drainer is really nice. So obviously you can see I'm taking advantage of that. So he'll take a little bit of damage, and then I'll just usually get it all back with the fight command. Is it 100% necessary? No. I could have just as easily healed with healing items, tonics or whatever, and that would have been fine too. And just let the mag rotor kill itself by casting spells. Because we've got the wall rings on. So that's an option too, but it's not really how. And there I had an extra turn, so I just stole. So I don't. That was just, I guess, for flair. So now this is, what is the second fight? Yeah, this is second fight. So the next formation is going to be 1 purple, 1 red, and again, now I don't recommend doing it that way because there was a 75% chance that I was going to get the wrong formation for this next fight, and only a 25% chance that I was going to get the right one. So, again, my opinion, don't necessarily do it just like this. Get this next fight out of the way first, and then that way the rest of your fights they have the best chances. You know, you've got that 75% chance on each of those fights to get the correct one. But, you know, I lucked out. I rolled the dice. I went with it.
I like how they're both called mag rotors.
Yeah, and that's super annoying because
Dicks.
they've all got separate rages, and there's two more in the World of Ruin. There's like a yellowish colored one and a brownish colored one.
Are they both called mag rotors?
Yep.
Oh man.
There is no way to differentiate them.
So
in
if
your- in
you
your
get
rage
all the
list.
rages, you have 4 different mag rotor
Yes.
rages? Wow.
Yes. Yeah, and the brown one's got some weird bug with it. I can't remember exactly what the deal is with it, but and I don't know if it's a bugged rage or if it's the monster itself is bugged, but it's something goofy, like when it's by itself it'll cast like fireball or something goofy. So I don't know, it's weird. So there you go. You can obviously now Locke has gained a level. Now is he going to gain one here too? Nope. Okay, so he already gained his 2 levels. So 159 health, obviously quite a bit more than he had before, which helps, you know, again for the final boss. So again, this is the way I like to do it. I think there's some different ways that you can, you know, keep certain people alive. Like if you want to get all the experience onto Gao, you can do that, or a Cyan or whatever. But this is the way I do it because this is how I wanted the experience gains to go. So I don't know. I guess just we'll leave it at that. If you want to do it a different way, then be my guest. This is kind of a pivotal fight here, and I like to do it ultra safe. So obviously we start out with 2 mag rotors. What we want to do, ideal situation here, is kill one of them, and then run the second one out of mana. And the reason for that is because when a mag rotor runs out of magic, it'll keep trying to cast fire on you, whether or not it's got the magic power to do it. Reason why I like to run it out, though, is so that I can revive Gao and Cyan, and hopefully,
Safely.
yeah,
Somewhat
hopefully,
safely.
yep, exactly. Hopefully, it'll try to cast a spell on them, and you know, I know it doesn't always work out that well. Sometimes you use a Phoenix Down, and then it just uses a regular attack on them and knocks them dead anyway. But this is how I like to do it. And actually, what I'll do here is I'll stall out the fight by healing them. So you're gonna see here I do it. So I want it to run out of magic, but I don't want it to kill itself, because Locke cannot be alive when this battle ends. He needs to be dead, and Cyan and Gao need to be alive. And again, now you can do these fights a little bit differently. Again, with the reviving people here and there, and I think the ultimate goal would have been to have all 3 of them alive at the end of the 5th fight, but that's just not how I did it. And in all honesty, it works out just fine. You'll see. So, but again, some people like to have all 3 alive at the end of the 5th fight, and there's good reason for that. That way you start off the boss fight completely fresh. But there you go.
He just keeps going.
Yeah, you got knocked down. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it works. And the one thing I noticed was I wanted to. He's still got MP, so that's why he's getting fried too. One thing I noticed was, there's a lot of recommendations out there to have somebody equipped with Carbuncle, because when you use the Carbuncle Esper, it will I know, right? He's just getting destroyed. Poor guy.
So you use Carbuncle,
yeah, to get wall, because it uses wall on your head. Well, that didn't seem to work for me. It wasn't giving me the wall status.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know why. It may be because they've got the wall rings on, and that does something goofy. I don't know, but it wasn't working. So again, my recommendation: run it out of magic power. Again, while making sure though that it stays alive, because it'll kill itself if you let it. Oh, there's the block finally. So there we've got a.
Look at him, he's like hulking out now.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
He's just ready. He's ready to destroy. And there I used the potion on it because I didn't want a Phoenix Down. I wanted their turns to be back to back. Well, hopefully.
Oh,
It looks like I'm just doing it anyway. Yeah, there. Okay, so never mind that. I guess I didn't do it the smart way. The smarter way would have been to... Yeah, and that would have been risky too. The smarter way would have been to let it take a turn, and then immediately with both your characters use a Phoenix down and then a potion. But I didn't, for whatever reason. Yeah, so this is just a little sloppy. I could have done this better. But there you go. Alright, so we're looking like we're in pretty good shape.
Time to kill that cracker.
No, not yet. Locke's gotta die.
Lots. You usually beat him down, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so here we go. So here's Carbuncle. So we'll see. Again, now, I don't think it did anything. For whatever reason. And again, yeah, see, so they're not glowing blue. It doesn't look like they've got Reflect on them. We'll see if they actually... Yep, he's casting... Yeah, there you go. That did not put Reflect on him. So, again, it may be because they are equipped with wall rings and that messes with their... I guess, ability to have that status? I don't know. Oh, and then I just put Locke in the front row because he'll take more damage that way. So we want to get him killed off. And that goes for the first fight, too, when you're trying to kill off Cyan and Gao. Just stick them in the, move them to the front row. And they'll take more damage. There you go. There he's out of MP. Unfortunately. It would have been nice if he was out of MP when I was trying to revive my guys, but again, I kind of did that sloppy. And then, I don't know, I should have just equipped Locke with something else like the Thief Knife here because I don't end up using... After this point, there's no reason for him to be equipped with the Drainer. I feel like the Thief Knife would have been a better option because he would have at least got that 10% magic evade, and thus potentially would have avoided more hits. Because I don't use the fight command at all after this. So he'll be dead for the end of this fight, and then he'll be dead for the 5th fight, and then we'll revive him right at the beginning of the boss fight. 128, I think, is is the boss name. And then the good thing now about the next fight is these two will have their wall rings will be in effect. So they will be protected from magic for the next
It's so
fight.
weird that skill didn't work.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I think it is because they're equipped with the wall rings when the fight starts, but they're dead, so they don't get the effect. But I think it makes them immune. That's a bug in the game where, so like we'll say a boss is immune. If a boss is immune to slow, he's also immune to haste. Even if it doesn't necessarily say that he's immune to haste, he will be because the opposite is true. But again, I don't really know. That was really weird. I felt like that should have worked on them, but it didn't. And then I paused. I think I had to go potty or something. But I cut out all that because there was a good minute there of dead footage. But here, yeah, obviously, so they're protected against magic, and I don't know the end of this fight. I think I ran this one out of magic too, so that I could use the Phantom Esper, or not, or I just killed it. Okay, so that must have been the second playthrough. So I went ultra safe with the second playthrough. I basically did the same thing as that previous fight. I ran that second one out of magic power. And then I casted Phantom, so that those two would be invisible at the beginning of the boss fight.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so unfortunately the boss does use ice once in a while. It's a fairly low probability that he'll use it, but he will. So it won't last forever. And then one of the blades uses Shim Sham, which completely sucks. I hate that skill.
Isn't that a 50%?
Yeah, it takes half of your it just takes half your life. One shot's Locke right away. So, and that's the problem with reviving Locke during the boss fight. he will not have his wall ring affecting him. So again, that's why some people don't necessarily like to... Oh, look at there. I totally messed that up. I used
yeah.
Phoenix down on Gao on accident. So this was a little sloppy. I think I got a little lucky, maybe. You know, that I didn't just flat out get killed here.
Dick hits pretty hard, too.
Yeah, this guy doesn't mess around.
He's all like, hey.
And I was all like, whoa. Alright, hopefully this will get him up. There you go. And we're definitely going to cut the commentary for this because this fight ended up taking so long because I failed so many steals. Unfortunately, though, again, there's two Tempests in the game. One is stealing from him, and the other one is in the Cave to the Sealed Gate. So I did use Phantom here, obviously, but that's just keep in mind that's not going to last forever. But the other thing I would say, make sure all you're doing is healing with Gao and Cyan until Locke steals. You know, if you are trying to get that Tempest, because you really can't afford to do anything else. Your guys are, you know, your margin of error for this fight is very, very small, and it will be very frustrating if you lose here. You know, if you get the right fights getting up to this and then lose, that would just be terrible. So, every once in a while, he will use net, and net casts stop on your characters. So, you know, watch out for that. I would, I actually do end up, after I steal, I do rage with Gao. I think I use Templar. I don't really think that that's that great of an idea, because if the boss casts stop on one of your other two characters, that means that only one of them can still heal. And there's a lot of outgoing damage, and that one character may not be able to keep up.
That'd be really bad, yeah.
Yeah, so in all honesty, I don't know that I would recommend raging with Gao. I did it anyway, just because sometimes I do stupid stuff, but it's not that safe. I guess I'll just leave it at that. One other thing with him raging is you can't control what targets he's attacking, and number 128 will do some pretty brutal shit if he's alone. One of his worst attacks, I believe, is Blaster. It can automatically one-shot certain characters, or it'll if it's successful, it one-shots you.
So you don't want to kill any of the hands.
Well, you could kill
Maybe
one of them.
one.
Maybe maybe one. One you'd be probably okay with, but I wouldn't really recommend killing two at a time. That's a bit dangerous. And I don't remember if he's immune to slow or not. I know at a certain point, like the first time, so if you kill the two blades, the first time he's alone, he will cast haste on himself. Which again, now I don't remember if because if he's immune to slow, that haste wouldn't do anything. But if he's not immune to slow, by all means cast it, because him being slow is a good thing for you. And then on top of that, if you don't kill both of the blades, he'll never try to cast haste on himself. And he'll never try using... I think it's Blaster he'll use. Atomic Rays is another one. I don't remember how much damage that does, in all honesty. I don't think he actually ever used on me. So that could be another potential...
One-shotter?
Yeah, mean skill. Oh, and I believe he uses Wind Slash, which... Wind Slash is actually, I will admit, pretty weak. Maybe 50 damage to all three characters. You know, it's multi-target, so it does suck. Especially if you somehow get that far and still have somebody with the Vanish condition. But yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I think we could probably cut it here. I don't think the blades have anything decent to steal, so I wouldn't bother with that. But I guess good luck. This whole series has a lot of RNG based on it. You know, A, getting the fights that you want, and B, stealing the Tempest. But
which is worth stealing.
It totally is. It's if anybody's familiar with the Wind God Cyan, what you can do is Genji Glove him, and then Offering, and stick both Tempests on him, boost up his magic power, through Espers, and that combination is insane. Like, I mean, it's it's something like a 50% chance every time he uses the fight command. 50% of the time he'll just slash, do a normal physical hit, but 50% of the time he'll cast wind slash, which is multi-target, does a lot of damage. It's insane. So, if that's something that you want to look for, this is what you need to do. So, I think we'll cut it here. Again, if you want to see how the entire battle plays out, go ahead and keep watching. But yeah, it's really long. So, again, I had almost no luck with stealing. But once you get that done, I want to say that the rest of the fight is easy, but it's really not. It's a pain in the ass the whole way through.
It looks like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it really was. And this is probably the pinnacle of this challenge, specifically. The Imperial Air Force would be another difficult fight, but we do it totally different, and it's a walk in the park. So this is it. So we're going to cut it here. So like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do, but hope these guides are helpful. Hope you're enjoying them, and good luck.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for watching.